Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell the truth about silver. Today we're going to give you our opinion about the question, could gold hit $10,000 in the next 2 years? Before we do that, please, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe to this channel. We have a lot of videos to show you, but if you're not subscribed, then YouTube won't show them to you. Let's get back to the question. Could gold hit $10,000 in the next 2 years? After all, some precious metal pumpers have been advocating $10,000 gold for the past 25 years. Now we're seeing some real moves upwards. Some believe it's within reach, given the right mix of economic conditions and global instability. But for gold to rise from $2,750, its current price, to $10,000 in such a short period would require unprecedented market forces. In this video, we'll break down whether this dramatic price surge is realistic by analysing economic trends, historical growth rates, and other investment alternatives you should consider. So let's dive in. First, let's examine how gold has performed historically. Gold has always been considered a hedge against economic uncertainty and inflation. During times of crisis, its price tends to spike. For example, gold surged by nearly 200% between 2008 and 2011 in the aftermath of the financial crash. More recently, it hit all-time highs during the COVID-19 pandemic, when markets were volatile and central banks were pumping trillions into the economy. Gold has hit multiple all-time highs in the last 12 months, as the prospects of falling interest rates and concerns about the global economy and geopolitical risk has boosted the safe haven status attraction of gold. But let's put this into perspective. For gold to reach $10,000 in 2 years, it would need to nearly quadruple in price. Historically, we've never seen such rapid growth in such a short time. Even during the most dramatic periods of financial crises or inflation, gold's rise has been significant, but not of this magnitude. This raises the question, what unique factors would be required for such explosive growth? Let's start with the economic factors. One of the most important drivers for gold is inflation. When inflation rises, the value of paper currencies decreases, and investors flock to gold to preserve their wealth. Right now, inflation is still a concern worldwide, though its rate is currently falling. If inflation were to spiral out of control, demand for gold could surge, driving prices much higher. Next, there's central bank buying. Central banks in countries like China and Russia have been steadily increasing their gold reserves over many years. Interestingly, the National Bank of Poland was the largest buyer of gold in July 2024 and have been a net purchaser over the past 5 months. The Central Bank of Turkey added 15 tons to its reserves in the second quarter of 24 and has been a net purchaser for 15 consecutive months. The Reserve Bank of India was the second highest net purchaser in August 24, and other central banks have been purchasing considerable amounts across the globe. Clearly, these countries are both afraid of tensions in their backyard, and one could argue that this is part of a broader move away from reliance on the US dollar, which could become more pronounced if global tensions rise. If more nations start hoarding gold, this will put significant upward pressure on its price. We also have geopolitical tensions, which add another layer of uncertainty. The Middle East is always a hot spot, and any further escalation there, which looks likely, could spook markets and push investors even harder towards safe haven assets like gold. Similarly, the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine continues to destabilize global markets. In times of war, economic sanctions, or political uncertainty, gold typically rises in price. These factors combined could contribute to a steep rise in gold prices, but $10,000? Let's not forget, for that to happen, these issues would need to worsen considerably. So, has gold ever achieved this kind of explosive growth in the past? The short answer is no. Not on the scale of reaching 10,000 in 2 years from today's price. For example, between 1971 and 1980, gold saw one of its largest price jumps, climbing from $35 per ounce to around $850. While this was a huge increase, and more than 400%, it was over a longer period and reflected the collapse of the Bretton Woods system and a high inflation environment. More recently, during the 2008 financial crisis, gold rose sharply from around $700 to over $1,800 by 2011, a 150% increase. Again, impressive, but far from the kind of rapid surge required to hit $10,000 within 2 years. History shows that while gold performs well during crises, the kind of growth needed for $10,000 gold would require an unprecedented convergence of economic and geopolitical shocks. Now, if $10,000 gold seems unlikely, what are the other alternatives investors might turn to? Bearing in mind the acquisition of these alternatives may indeed prevent gold from achieving these dizzy levels, as there's only so much money investors have. Let's explore a few other options that could perform well under similar conditions. First up, silver, often referred to as gold's little brother. Silver tends to follow gold's price movements, but it's much more volatile. Because silver is both a precious metal and an industrial one, demand for it can spike during economic recoveries and inflationary periods. Some analysts believe silver has more room to grow relative to gold because of its current undervaluation. The fact that it's around 1/80th of the price of gold also means more people can afford to invest in it. Another precious metal to consider is platinum, which is used extensively in the automotive and industrial sectors. Like gold, platinum tends to rise during periods of economic uncertainty, but can also benefit from growth in the industrial economy. Platinum is also currently less than half the price of gold at $1,035. Then there is the digital frontier, cryptocurrency. Many investors now see Bitcoin and other cryptos as digital gold. Like gold, Bitcoin is seen as a store of value, particularly in times of inflation or financial instability. However, crypto's volatility and the lack of widespread regulation may make it a riskier bet compared to traditional precious metals. That said, Bitcoin will also currently set you back around $67,000 a coin, though you can purchase fractions or look at alternative, cheaper cryptocurrencies. And don't forget about real estate. Times of high inflation, hard assets like real estate tend to appreciate. Unlike gold, real estate can provide cash flow through rental income, making it attractive to investors looking for both value preservation and income. It goes without saying that real estate too has its economic cycles and is generally regarded as an illiquid asset, that is, takes some time to sell. While the stars could align for gold to rise dramatically, there are counterarguments that could keep gold from hitting $10,000. If global economies stabilize and inflation is brought under control, the rush to gold may slow down. Governments and central banks are working hard to manage inflation, and if successful, we might not see the runaway demand needed for $10,000 gold. Similarly, the rise of cryptocurrencies and technological advancements in the financial sector may divert interest away from physical gold. Some investors believe the future lies in decentralized digital currencies, not in traditional safe haven assets. Ultimately, while $10,000 gold is an exciting prospect, it would require a perfect storm of inflation, geopolitical instability, and shifts in the global economic order. It's possible, but for now, it really remains a speculative scenario. What do you think? Will gold hit 10,000 in the next 2 years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, make sure, please, to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content on gold, silver, and investing in today's volatile world. Before we go, also please subscribe to our sister channel, Finances Do Matter, and we've placed a link in the description box and comment section, together with other videos we've produced recently. Look forward to seeing you soon.